What if I told you a Hollywood star just pulled off the smartest rebrand of 2025 and almost nobody understands why? Shannon Elizabeth, American Pie, the chess scene, the accent, the legend. She joined OnlyFans, and the internet lost its mind for all the wrong reasons. Let's start at the very beginning. 1999, Shannon Elizabeth is a broke model living in Los Angeles. She's doing commercials, small parts, audition after audition after audition. She's not famous, she's not rich, she's just grinding like every other actor in Hollywood. Then she books American Pie, the role is Nadia, the foreign exchange student. The script calls for her to play chess, speak with an accent, and yes, appear nude in one of the most infamous scenes of the decade. Here's what people forget. That scene wasn't exploitative, it was funny, it was awkward, it was exactly what a teen comedy in 1999 needed. And Shannon played it perfectly. Innocent, confident, unforgettable. The movie makes $235 million worldwide. Shannon Elizabeth becomes a household name overnight. She's on magazine covers, she's walking red carpets, she's getting offered every hot girl role in Hollywood. But here's the thing, Shannon realized very quickly. Those roles were all the same. The hot neighbor, the sexy vampire, the girlfriend who dies first in a horror movie. She played the love interest in Scary Movie. She played the victim in 13 Ghosts. She played the same character with different hair for almost 5 years straight. By 2004, Shannon was done. Not burned out, not canceled, just bored. She told her agent she wanted different roles, smarter roles, weirder roles, roles with teeth. Hollywood said no. Not aggressively, just quietly. The offers slowed down, the good scripts stopped coming. She was still famous enough to get work, but not famous enough to demand better work. That middle zone in Hollywood, it's a graveyard. So Shannon did something most actors are too scared to do. She walked away, not from acting entirely, but from the game, the auditioning, the schmoozing, the pretending she was grateful for scraps. She moved to Las Vegas, not to party, to play poker. Now you have to understand, this wasn't a publicity stunt. Shannon Elizabeth became a legitimately world-class poker player. She competed in the World Series of Poker not once, not twice, but multiple times. She played against the best in the world. She cashed in major tournaments. She beat professionals who had been playing since she was a child. In 2005, she finished in the top 10% of the World Series of Poker main event. Out of over 5,000 players, that's not a celebrity novelty act. That's a real competitor. She even started her own charity poker tournament. She used poker to raise money for animal rescues. Because during all of this, something else was happening. Shannon was falling in love with animals, not in a cute puppy Instagram way, in a real way. She started rescuing dogs, then cats, then horses, then exotic animals that had been abandoned or abused. She turned her own property into a sanctuary. She was paying for vet bills out of her own pocket. She was waking up at 5 in the morning to feed rescued animals before doing anything else. By 2020, her Animal Rescue Foundation was saving hundreds of lives every year. But here's the problem nobody talks about. Running a legitimate animal sanctuary costs a fortune. Vet bills alone can hit $50,000 a year. Food, shelter, medicine, staff, rehabilitation. It adds up fast. Shannon was funding most of it herself. Her acting residuals were drying up. Poker was fun, but not consistent. She was burning through savings to keep animals alive. And she never once complained publicly. She just kept writing checks and posting adoption photos. Then 2025 happened. The announcement came out of nowhere. Shannon Elizabeth is joining OnlyFans. The internet exploded. Memes within minutes, hot takes within hours, think pieces within days. Everyone assumed they knew the story. Former teen star, out of options, selling access to stay relevant. That's what the headlines screamed. But here's what the headlines missed. Shannon didn't announce lingerie photos. She didn't announce pay-per-view videos. She announced exactly one thing. Every dollar she makes on OnlyFans goes directly to her Animal Rescue Foundation. Not to her, not to a new house, not to a comeback tour, to the animals. She said it herself in the announcement. Quote, "I'm doing this to fund my animal rescue. Period. No games, no gimmicks, just real work for real creatures who need real help." End quote. Let me repeat that. A Hollywood star took the most misunderstood, most stigmatized platform on the internet and turned it into a nonprofit fundraising machine overnight. That's not desperate, that's brilliant. The backlash was predictable but still loud. Critics said she was exploiting her own fame. Cynics said it was a publicity stunt. Former fans said they were disappointed. But here's the question nobody asked those critics. What would you rather she do? Start a GoFundMe like everyone else? Shill a flat tummy tea on Instagram? Beg for donations on TikTok like a street performer with a tip jar? No, she found the one platform with 300 million active users and zero shame about paying for content. And she flipped it on its head. Think about the math. OnlyFans has over 3 million creators, but less than 1% of them make real money. To succeed, you need either extreme content or extreme fame. Shannon has the second one. She doesn't need to take her clothes off, she just needs to show up. And that's exactly what she's doing. Behind the scenes at the sanctuary, raw footage of rescues, unfiltered updates on vet visits, real conversations about animal rehabilitation that normal media would never air. That's the content, that's the offer. Some people will subscribe hoping for something else. Those people will be disappointed, but a lot of people will subscribe because they genuinely care about animal rescue. And those people will get exactly what they paid for: transparency, access, impact. Since launching, Shannon has already rescued over a dozen dogs from kill shelters. She's funded emergency surgeries that would have been impossible without the OnlyFans income. She's expanded her sanctuary's capacity. She's hired additional staff. All because she had the guts to ignore the stigma and do what works. Now let me zoom out for a second because this is bigger than Shannon Elizabeth. We are living in an era where traditional systems are failing. Hollywood doesn't take care of actors after they stop being profitable. Nonprofits struggle to fundraise without constant emotional begging. Animal shelters close every single day because they can't pay rent or buy medicine. Meanwhile, platforms like OnlyFans are sitting there with hundreds of millions of users and billions of dollars flowing through them. Most people use those platforms for entertainment, but a few people like Shannon Elizabeth are using them differently, as tools, as leverage, as life rafts for causes that matter. She took a website built for adult content and turned it into a veterinary hospital. That's not a headline, that's a blueprint. And before you say she's privileged because she was famous first, you're right, she was. But fame alone doesn't save animals, action does. She could have launched a boring nonprofit website and begged for $5 donations like everyone else. Instead, she went where the money actually is. That's not privilege, that's strategy. Shannon Elizabeth learned how to play poker at a world-class level. Poker teaches you one thing better than anything else: read the table, find the angle, ignore the noise, and play to win. Hollywood was the table. She read it correctly and left. OnlyFans is the angle. She found it when almost nobody else was looking. And the noise, the critics, the disappointed fans, she's ignoring all of it. Because at the end of the day, a rescued dog doesn't care where the money came from. A cat pulled out of a kill shelter doesn't read think pieces. A horse getting life-saving surgery doesn't check the creator's subscription count. Shannon Elizabeth didn't join OnlyFans for fame. She already had that. She didn't join for money. She made that years ago. She joined to win, not for herself, for the creatures who can't speak. So, here's the truth. They won't tell you on the news. This isn't a scandal. It's not a comeback. It's not a desperate cry for attention. It's a woman in her 40s who stopped caring what people think and started doing what works. If that makes you uncomfortable, good, that's called respect. You don't have to subscribe, you don't have to agree, but you should at least understand what's actually happening. A Hollywood star just flipped the script on the entire internet. And while everyone was laughing at the headline, she was already saving lives. Shannon Elizabeth played her hand, and she's holding all the cards.
World is always turning, another legend in the making. They put the work in for the crown now, ready for the throne they're taking.